BARAK Yahawah, Sham Yahawashi, Sham Qudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is, and He Causeth All. And pretty much this is going into the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, about the MOTB. I was watching, I forgot whose video it was. This was yesterday. I can't remember who it was. Whether it was Priest Zakar or the Yahawah, but one of those brothers. I was watching the video, and they were going into Revelation 13. It might have been Priest Zakar, and pretty much as he was reading through it, he was making a lot of different points. But what stuck out to me is the verse where it says here in Revelation 13, it says, and He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads. So what stuck out to me is causeth, right? So it prompted me to look the word up. I looked it up, looked up some other things, and, followed the links for the word, going to the Greek. And, a lesson came to mind. And pretty much, I wanted to do it yesterday, but I wasn't able to. So, Lord's will, we can go through it today, and it'll be edifying. So, I typed in cause and effect meaning. It says, how do I explain cause and effect? In the cause and effect relationship, one or more things happen as a result of something else. So in other words, you have, I read this somewhere, I can't remember where, but cause is the producer and effect is the result. So something that you do brings about a result, which is the effect. And what it is, as far as the MOTB is concerned, it's the whole system that these devils are introducing to the world, which is a digital system. And you brothers and few sisters that have been watching, you know that we've been speaking about this digital system for quite a while. It can't be hidden anymore. It's out in the open. It's so out there in the open that even Bishop Nathaniel was forced to go into and talk about, the other day we went into digital currency and they might throw a microchip in there, but that's not the mark of the beast. Trying everything to remove the facts of prophecy that are evident. The evidence is overwhelming. So with this whole system that they have set up, this digital currency, and they're pushing, this is that's the cause. And what's the effect or the result is everyone on the planet being sea-hipped. That's their goal. And even Aaron Russo, before he passed away, he had an interview with Alex Jones, called him Bones, and pretty much he brought that out. He said that Nick Rockefeller told him that they want everyone sea-hipped. And if you don't play by the rules, you get shut out. They turn the chip off, and guess what? You are relegated to what? To either groveling to them or you starve. But once you take that thing, there's no coming back from that. Unless, like as Elder Pastor said, he was watching his one video where this Edomite was saying, I think he was an Edomite looking guy. They put the C-hip in him and it fell out. And he said after that he didn't take it no more. So that he could be a part of the elect that just looks like an Edomite. So this is the whole effect. The cause is the digital system, the digital currency, everything going online. And the effect of that would be the C-hip in everyone. That's why it says, and He causeth all. So when we look up the word cause, it says a person or thing that gives rise to an action, because cause is the action, phenomenon, or condition. It says a principal aim or movement that, because of a deep commitment, one is prepared to defend or advocate. Make something, especially something bad, happen. And this is what they're doing. They're pushing this action to make something bad happen. And what is the bad thing that will happen? Is the people that take it, this CHIP, will be totally destroyed. You know, there's no, you know, if there was a possibility that once you took it, you could repent from it, there would have been some kind of example in the scriptures that said, and so that took the MOTB, you know, and he, you know, and if he repents, you know, and really turns to the Lord and repents and fasts and prays, then he can be forgiven for that. No, it tells us right in the book of Revelation 14. Let's get it real quick. 14, and we'll start at 8. The point is in around 9 or 10. It says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, which is America, Babylon the Great, because she made all nations drink of the wine of her wrath of her fornication. Yeah, this is all part of it. The CHIP, democracy, and everything else that America stands for, which is known as Americanization, which the whole world is under the spell of Americanization. I mean, you have some people that have, you know, woken up, I guess you could say, to the fact that, you know, there's some BS going on and they are getting away from the system. But for the most part, the majority of the world is still under the spell of America. It says, doom for worshipers of the beast, because a worshiper is someone that's devoted or pious to a god. You know, and in this case, when you take that CHIP, you pretty much make Esau your god. Because what is the CHIP about? It's about making you a slave, and a slave depends on the master to feed him, to clothe him, to give him board and room, so on and so forth. These are all the things that the Lord does. You know, didn't Yahawashi say that don't worry what you shall put on or what you know, any of those things, because these things the nations are worried about. So you don't worry about that, you know. So it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his MARK in his forehead or in his hand, right? The same, your butt cheek, your big toe, you know, your Achilles heel, because you got some, what if he takes it in his thigh? You got some real dickheads out there, man. I just got to say it that way, Salakia. You know, but, you know, it's just terrible. It's terrible. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. See, so if anyone takes it, they have made Esau their god, and they will be destroyed, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that is the effect of the cause is taking the CHIP. The effect of that, or the result of that, is being destroyed. So when we go to the word, because we read the word cause, when we go to the word effect, a change which is a result or consequence of an action or other cause. You know, they go hand in hand, cause and effect. Cause is the producer, effect is the result. All right, so let's read this again. Revelation 13 and 16. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an MARK in their right hand or in their forehead. Now, when we go to the word causeth, the word there is poeo. Right? Poeo. As you can see there, poyeho. Or you know, however you say it.
Strong's G 4160. Poeo.
Poyeo. That was close. All right, it says to make, with the names of things made, to produce. So cause is the producer, effect is the result, construct, form, fashion, etc. To be the authors of the cause. See, these are the authors of the cause, and they're not so much as going to pretty much at the beginning of this, they're not really going to force anyone to do it. It's going to be totally voluntary. But there's going to come a point where it's going to be mandatory. Once they got enough people, C-hipped, then they're going to come with the pain, so to speak. Because if that's not the case, then why does it say in Revelation 20 and 4 that that the ones that didn't take it got their head chopped off? Because it's going to come a point. At first, it's just, they're going to deceive people. Most people of the world are going to be deceived to take it. They're going to take it voluntarily, just like a lot of people took that, the juice voluntarily. But there will come a point when once they got enough people, C-hipped, they're going to make it mandatory, because remember, they're pushing this new agenda, this new world agenda. So it says to produce, bear, shoot forth, to make one do something, causes one too. So when it says he causeth all, meaning he's going to do something to make everyone, the majority of the planet, take it. But Yahawashi said that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, but the elect will not be deceived because they have the MARK of the Most High, which is the word Yahawah, which goes hand in hand with the word elect. And we were speaking, I believe it was either on the way or to camp or on the way back to the Ponderosa. Apostle said, yeah, that's the same as the seal in the book of Revelation, the 7th chapter. And that's true. Because that MARK, in the English, when you look the word up, you're not going to get any real understanding, because you're going to look at it as the English word MARK and the definition of the English word MARK. But when you go to the Hebrew or the Greek, it'll give you more context of what that word MARK is talking about. And that's why it's important to look those words up. So MARK in the book of Ezekiel 9, which is the mark of the Most High, is an exemption from judgment, which is the Hebrew word Yahawah, which is synonymous with the word seal, Revelation 7 and other places. And the word charagma for the MARK in Revelation 13 is synonymous with the word kwai in the book of Leviticus 19, which the word there is MARKS, I believe. So it all goes together. If, you're not proud, if the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with you, if you really are a man of the Lord, the scriptures speak about humbling yourself. Say, you know what, I'm wrong about this. But instead of doing that, this guy is scraping, scratching, crawling, ducking, hiding, dipping in alleys and out, going through the obstacle course of deceit. Going through the obstacle course of deceit in order not to say I was wrong. Because he has no character. I have to say it that way. He has no character. Because if he did have an ounce of character, he would at least apologize for doing what he did during the Cornelius Council thing. And now he teaches it as if he always taught it that way. Like there's no consequences for what you did. Scriptures speak about that. They speak about, your brethren that casted you out, they're going to be ashamed. And you're going to be glorified. So it says to be the authors of a thing, to cause, bring about. Now, when you go, so they are the authors of this thing. And they are the cause. And the cause is predicated upon this new digital system that they're setting up, or that's already set up in place. I keep saying setting up. It's already set up in place. The digital system is out there. The infrastructure is out there. Everything is ready. People's mind, the majority of the people's minds in the world are ready for it. This meeting right now that they're having at Davos is cementing everything together. Elder Yahawah just sent me an article this morning dealing with the North American Declaration, which is nothing more than a new name that they gave to the North American Union, which proposes to link Canada, America, Mexico, possibly Central and South America and the Caribbean islands as a American Union. And they said that it's the same way that it was done through the Maastricht, if I'm pronouncing that word correctly, Maastricht from the Netherlands, where they signed that contract or that decree to make the European Union. You know, so why are they doing that? Because, and they even had something called the African Union, if I'm not mistaken. And why are they doing that? Because it's easier to merge unions than it is to merge individual sovereign countries. And that's why they're doing it. All right, so when you go here to, Revelation 13 under the word causeth, and you click on the word causeth, it brings you right over here to the word causeth. And it gives you different precepts, pretty much mostly in the Old Testament and a couple in the New Testament, that pretty much go into a cause and effect. All right. Now, the first one that comes up is in the book of Numbers, the 5th chapter. When you read Numbers, the 5th chapter, it's pretty much a law on jealousy. If you have a woman and you have a suspicion or a jealousy spirit upon you, that something ain't right, man. I think this woman is cheating on me. Then you would go before the priests. And they would put a concoction with the holy water, with the dust from the floor of the temple. They would mix it up, and they would give it to the woman and for her to drink it. And after she drank it, that was the cause. After she drank it, the result is if she was guilty, certain things would happen. If she was innocent, nothing would happen. And that would declare her innocence or guilt. So Numbers 5:18, and the priest shall set the woman before the Lord and uncover the woman's head and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. So the causing is the producer. The curse is the effect. And when you read through, it'll give you, the cause. But right here in the 27th verse, and when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. And her belly shall swell, see? And her thigh shall rot. That's why you have these women with them big ass guts and the cottage cheese and on the thighs. That's a part of it because Yahawashi said it. This is an adulterous generation. It says, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. Right. So now you see these women today, they got those belly shirts, the ones that don't go all the way down to cover them up. And they got these big ass guts, they got love handles hanging out the back, belly sticking out the front. And they think that shit is sexy. Some of them might have a tattoo on their fat stomach. Or they might have a ring, one of those rings in there, and they think that shit is sexy. And it's not. It's a curse. It just said, and the woman shall be a curse among the people. Now don't get me wrong, we're all under the curse. Scripture says an adulterous and, generation. So all of us don't have, perfect bodies. 6-packs and all of that, So, I mean, if you happen to be somebody that's like that, don't worry about it, You're at least on the right path for trying to serve the Lord to the best of your ability, as we all are. All right, so the cause was drinking the bitter water, and the effect was, if she was guilty, the swelling of the stomach and the rotting of the thighs. If she was innocent, nothing would happen. She would be cool. So Job 12:24, he taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth and causeth them to wander in the wilderness where there is no way. Right, so when he takes away the heart of the chief of the people, meaning the king or rulers, what happens? If people fall apart. So that's the cause and effect. And what happens if people wander in the wilderness? Why? Because they're not going to have any proper leadership. As a leader of the people is so are his people. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. That goes into it. And he causeth it to come, whether for correction or for land or for mercy. Right, here we go. This is another good one. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle. So the the producer is the cause, right? And what is the effect? Grass to grow, right? So he causes the grass to grow for what? For the cattle, for them to be able to eat, have food. And herb for the service of man. So you have a cause and effect. And this is, it says that he may bring forth food out of the earth. And as you read through here, it gives you the same idea, the cause and effect. He sendeth out his word and melted them. He causeth his wind to blow and the waters flow. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. Right, because if he's lazy, slothful, he's not going to do anything. So the slothfulness is the cause, the producer. Shame is the effect that comes from that cause and effect. So when this devil, when we go, you could read through some of these if you want. When you go to Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he causeth all. The cause is what? This digital system that they're setting up in place. The effect is what? Everyone having to take the C-hip in order to be involved in this new system that they're bringing in. All right? This is why they're purposely, imploding the economies of the world, because they don't want anyone to have tangible currency. That's why, to be totally honest, I was never with that Bitcoin and none of those different, even though some people are getting rich off of it, I really wasn't ever with it. And the reason why is because that is all done by a stroke of a key. You have nothing tangible in your hand. You don't have any of those coins. How many people out there that are invested in Bitcoin or any of these other cryptocurrencies actually have those assets in their hand, that tangible currency in their hand? They don't. So if they hit a button, boom, everything's gone. Now what? What you gonna do? No, well, I had $10 million in Bitcoin. No. Yeah, and you got nothing now. So I was never really a big, that was never really a big thing for me, I'm just speaking on my personal experience. So that's the cause, the digital currency. And what is the effect? People taking the C-hip, which is going to cause them to be put to death. All right. Now, when we go to Job 37 and 13, which is when you click on the causative, it brings you here to this page, which gives you, all the different examples in the scriptures when the word is being used. All right. Then when you click on the phrase, it brings you to this page. He causeth. So Job 37:13, it says, he causeth it to come. Who? The Most High. Whether for correction or for land or for mercy. Which we read that one already. Psalms, we read that one. Psalms, let's see. Let's try to get another one. Right, so pretty much this is all dealing with the Most High except for one verse. The point is that the Most High is the one that does these things, right? Psalms 104 and 14, where it speaks about the Lord causing the grass to grow for the cattle, for the service of man, that they may bring food. That's the Most High doing that. He causes the vapors to ascend to the from the ends of the earth. That's Yahawah doing that. He maketh lightnings for the rain. He bringeth the wind out of his treasuries. Psalms 147:18. He sendeth out his word and melted them. He causeth his wind to blow and the waters flow. So these are all things that the Lord is doing because he has that power. He is the Almighty. He is Yahawah. He exists. Right? So everything the Lord does, he says, look, you better, you worship me and I'll give you all of these things, all these benefits. You'll be set up on high. And this is what Esau wants. And this is why, we've done lessons on the God complex that Esau has. Recently, Elder Apostle Gabar just did one not too long ago. And that's why they want the power that the Most High has. This is why the serpent, which was an actual man, when he came to Eve, he pretty much enticed her with that power of the gods, knowing good and evil. Right? It says, so this is what they're pushing so that they can have that godlike power over people. This is why that devil Mayam Shalbawa said, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes the laws. Because once you control the money, you're in a godlike state over people. To either they dance your dance or they go sit on the wall, be a wallflower. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, as dealing with Esau. When the morning is light, they practice it, meaning they put it into effect. Because it is what? In the power of their hand. Just like the Most High has power to do good for one, or bless one, or do bad for one, or curse one. This is what Esau has right now. He has the power because he controls the money system. Now, when you look up this word power, it goes into the word Allah, which means God. All right? So he has a godlike power. Godlike one, mighty one. See? So he has that godlike power. See? Strength, power. So they have the power. Mighty things in nature. They have the power. Mighty men, men of rank. But the point is godlike ones, mighty ones, strength, power. So they have the power as the Most High. Because if these devils really wanted, if they were really benevolent and pious, the amount of money that they have to end world hunger, right? The amount of money that they have, they could take a small, minuscule portion of that and end world hunger and then still be so financially stable that they wouldn't even affect them, right? And it would make them look noble, right? Nobel Peace Prize and this, that, and the other. But why won't they do it? Because they are the wicked. They want the power. They want people to come groveling to them, to make them a god, to make them be the Most High instead of the Most High. This is what the devil has done many, many times. Antiochus Epiphanes wrote that his whole kingdom should be one and that everyone should leave the laws of their power to what? To come to him and do according to his wishes and his will, and therefore you'll be able to have a better life. And that's what these devils are pushing. So when it says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an MARK in their right hand or on their foreheads, that's talking about, them having this godlike power over the people financially, having people in a desperate state to where they have to receive this thing to give themselves over to becoming perpetual slaves. Nothing more than a digital all, which Elder Apostle Tara coined that. You go back into the Old Testament, the all was it looked like an ice pick that you were bore into the hole of the man at the door, and eventually, once you did that, that man would be your servant, a slave for life. And that's what these devils are trying to do. That's what they're pushing. All right. Let's see. I think that was it. Oh, Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou far off, O Lord Yahawah Bashem El Shai? Yeah, because we're in a bad case, man. We're in a bad situation. I mean, spiritually, mentally, we're at ease, at peace, but physically we're not. Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Right, because when Jacob's trouble comes, it's going to get really bad out here. Brothers are catching hell, all sick. And then we know that the Lord is going to make a way eventually to, for us to get through it. But the way we feeling is like, damn, how the hell am I going to even be able to get through an hour or two feeling the way I'm feeling right now when all hell breaks loose? But the Lord is going to make, he said when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. So somehow, some way, the Lord is going to make us to get through. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And this is exactly what they do. Because the rich have gotten richer off of the backs of the poor. They didn't get richer because they had money and they just kept investing and making the right decisions and, making money on top of money off of virtuous ventures. They're doing it by ripping the poor off constantly, having the people to be dirt poor. They're already dirt poor, and they're taking the little bit of crumbs that they have. That's some evil, wicked shit right there. Excuse my Swahili. It said, let them be taken in the what? In the devices that they have imagined. So all of this that we see going on are devices in their mind that they are imagining that they're going to be able to get off the ground. You know? This is why it says that they didn't consider their latter end. Because if they would have considered their latter end, they wouldn't have done what they did, but they would have done it anyway, because they're nothing more than robots for the Lord Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So the word device is mazamah. It says purpose, discretion, device, plot. It's a plot. Which plot, I'm pretty sure if you look up the word plot, one of the synonyms should be conspiracy. See? Look at that. Conspiracy. Stratagem. Machinations, which is the working of the mind, you know, meditation and different ideas and thoughts and building on this thought and building on that thought. That's why the Lord said that they're wearied in the multitude of their counsels. So it says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. The word imagine is the word chashab, to think, plan. See, it's a plan. When you plan something out and you have more than one person in that plan that is planning to do something to someone else, that is the truest definition of a conspiracy. All right? And even when Elder Yahshua sent me that earlier, that article, I looked up the North American Union, and even in that article on Wikipedia, it says that it's a conspiracy theory. It ain't really never going to really happen. It's just a conspiracy theory. People are saying it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen. And then I started cracking up. I said, but wait a minute. Now in 2023, the hopeful year of all the prophecies of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi being fulfilled, you have this North American Declaration, which is the same exact thing as the North American Union. So what was the conspiracy? These are just things that they say because they know that by saying something over and over again, people will dismiss. I believe the guy's name starts with an M. Either his first name or last name or both. And pretty much he said, little secrets are the only things that have to be hidden from the public. Because the big secrets are hidden from the unbelief of the people. Because you'll tell them something has happened. You'll tell them that the government is planning against you, but they won't believe it, you know? So they said only the little secrets have to be hidden. Now, we worked with this one individual years ago, you know, and he told us, because, we were breaking down, the Illuminati to him, and different things that were going on, different, so-called conspiracies and all that. And he said, look, even if they were to tell me that they were doing it, I wouldn't believe it. So that's the prime example of what the individual, Harlem something, I forget the guy's name, M something, that he said only the little secrets have to be hidden from the public. The big secrets are hidden by their incredulity or their unbelief. And you can see it. Even when you tell these people, nah, you bugging, This is why you have the people that took the JAB, looking at the ones that didn't. See, you're the cause of the problem. You're the cause of the problem. You the reason why everyone's sick, man. So wait a minute. This guy is the guy that didn't take it. Oh, here we go. Marshall McLuhan. Ah, my man. Okay, beautiful. McLuhan. I knew it was something. It says only puny secrets need protection. Big secrets are protected by public incredulity. Marshall McLuhan. There you go. There you go with the water, brother. The water for that. So that's why people are like that. And you tell them that, hey, shalom to the Akim, Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, Barak Thumb, to the sincere brothers out there that in all sincerity, and shalom to the, believing sisters, however very few they may be, So it says to think, plan, esteem, calculate. So what these devils don't understand, because they didn't consider their latter end, is that this very same thing that they're doing because of their greed, remember they can never have enough, is a very undoing of their whole system, of their whole empire. And they don't even realize it. They're not even privy to what it is. They're just so trained and so what's the word I'm looking for? I guess for lack of a better word, trained, hypnotized. There's other words for it, by the Most High, that they're going along for their for the gusto, so to speak, but they don't understand that that's going to be the very thing that brings their ruin. It says invent, make a judgment, imagine, count. Yeah, so that's pretty much this thing that they're doing and persecuting the poor, because remember, the Lord don't like that, especially when you persecute the poor of his people, the Israelites. This is what's going to make them fall. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. Now, I was watching Elder Yahawah's video, which was an intro. I thought it was a video. It was an intro. It was almost half hour long. I was cracking up afterwards because I guess I didn't read it correct. And he said, okay, so we're going to go into Genesis 4. And all of a sudden, the video just cut off. I said, what happened? And then I said, oh, this is an intro. I went back. Man, the video was like an hour and a half. Because I said, this brother usually long-winded, 28 minutes. And then I looked, I said, okay, he did another video. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. Oh, yeah, and this is he said something that brought this scripture to mind. I didn't know exactly where it was at. It says, the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, which is what? The whole entire world, the whole entire planet. They want it all. In Anthony J. Hilda's voice, they want it all. They want total control. And blesseth the covetous, which is what? His like, from his ilk, whom the Lord abhorreth. The Lord avoids them, because the Lord don't deal with that. He deals with the lowly, the contrite. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And this is why they continue to do what they do. So, there's more to it. You could read the rest, but let's go to Job 5 and 12 and let's finish it out here. Job 5 and 12. He disappointed. Who is the he? The Most High Yahawah, by Sham Yahawashi, disappointeth the devices of the crafty. So they're disappointing the devices of the crafty. That's why they can't really ever get off what they want unless the Lord Yahawah by Sham Yahawashi is ready for them to move to the next phase. Take me to the next phase, baby. Disappointed is the word parar, right? It says to break, frustrate, right? Because when you have a goal and you're determined, and no matter what you do, no matter which way you go, no matter how you slice it, it just doesn't happen, you get frustrated. Because you have the right idea, the right, attitude. You're going into it positive. You're not letting anything sway you. But for some reason, it's not working out. You get frustrated. So the Lord is going to frustrate this venture of theirs, which is their enterprise of the New World Order, which you could look and read on the back of a dollar bill. It says to break, violate, to frustrate, make ineffectual, right? So the Most High is going to make it not to be in effect, ineffectual, because their whole mindset is to get the whole planet sea-hipped. But the Lord is not going to allow that. He's not going to allow them to get the whole world sea-hipped. Only the ones that the Lord deems to be destroyed. All right, so that you get the idea. So going back, it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands, meaning what? This power that they have, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? Micah 2, we just read in Micah 2 how that they have that power in their hand, that godlike power, right? Because it says, because it is in the power of their hand. So the Lord is disappointing or frustrating their devices so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So you can't perform your enterprise. You can't get it fully off, because once you're about to sit back and eat, the Lord is going to cast his fury upon you. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So he allows them to do what they do. They think the Most High is on their side because everything is going according to their plan, so to speak. But the Lord is going to throw a monkey wrench in there. That's why it says in Job that he set them up in slippery places. You know, it looked sweet, but the end of it is destruction. It's a slippery slope that once you start going down that slope, ain't no stopping. Ain't no stopping. Salakia. It says, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. You know, when you slap somebody in the back of the head and they fall forward, that's how the Lord's going to do. He's going to cause them to go headlong. Because they're the froward. They really believe in their heart of hearts that they're going to get this thing all the way off the ground. They meet with darkness. This is dealing with their secret counsels. In the daytime, you can read Psalm 64 for that. In the daytime, meaning it doesn't just necessarily mean the daytime. It means among them. Because they are the so-called light of this world in wickedness, which is Luciferians or the Illuminati, Alumbrados, whatever you want to call them, the enlightened ones. So this is why, that's why it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Because you're going to be brought down from that lofty state that you're in. And grope in the noonday as in the night. Right, because they're groping in the noonday as in the night. When you grope means you can't see, so you got your hands stretched out. You're trying to walk, hoping you don't bump into anything. This is how they walking as blind men, even though they can see. But they don't see the imminent destruction at the end of the road that they're traveling. And the Lord is going to F them up, in the long run. All right, so pretty much this has been, and He Causeth All. That goes to Revelation 13, that's dealing with, this system that they got in place and about to really cement once this Davos meeting is over with. And pretty much that's going to set up the world to go digital. And at that point, those that don't comply, they are not going to be able to be partakers in this new system that's coming. But the elect of Yahawah Sham of the nation of Israel are going to be safe and protected somehow, some way. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.